all dear participants, and thanks to the organizers, especially Megha and everybody else. Uh, Chair, the topic is quite, not the flow of the current going on, but yes, because the role of China in the South Asia and in the global economy, as it is increasingly getting higher and higher. Uh, so it is also impacting various aspects of the life, be it the economics or the political economy or the human rights situation or the employment situation or the sovereignty. So, and especially looking at the experiences pre-pandemic and post-pandemic uh, periods, we must see the role of China and its possible impacts on the South Asia's countries. So to begin with, I'll just say that everybody knows that China has become the second global leader as the GDP is concerned, with almost $12 trillion economy, uh, and the first one is United States with $18 trillion economy, and the third one is Japan with some $8 trillion economy. So this rise of GDP and continuous rise since last 4 or 5 years, this has also attributed some kind of other factors which are necessary to discuss. Especially, I will focus about two of the two of the policies which China recently adopted and which has got very much to do with the other countries of South Asia. One is the Belt and Road Initiative, which you must be hearing a lot about. This One Belt, One Road initiative of China is a $1 trillion project plan. Plan Our largest plan is said to be in Xi Jinping's premier age. So this is going to cover almost 70% of the population, world population. It is going to impact upon 70% of the world population, and also associate with it some 70 organizations, including countries and other organizations, some 68 countries actually. So with this kind of grand plan, when in 2012, Comrade Xi Jinping took off the office, he came up in 2013 with a plan of One Road, One Belt initiative, which is also called Belt and Road Initiative, which is actually reviving the Silk route, the old Silk trade route, which was there, and also uh, clubbing it together with the new maritime uh, train and the sea route, the ports, and all others. So in that connection, China has got consent of many countries, and it has already started working in many countries, laying down the infrastructure projects, railways, and technological support and many things. It has already spent the flagship of this One World One Belt initiative is one of its flagship program is CPEC, which is China Pakistan Economic Corridor, which costs around $60 billion, and already some $46 billion have been spent, and it is regarding developing a port in uh, Gwadar, that is in Balochistan, which will connect China through Gwadar to West Asia, to Central Asia, and then Eurasia. So this kind of great grand plans that are already under way India has not become a part of it. India has not given its consent to be a part of this plan. But as far as other South Asian countries, most of the countries have agreed to, and what is it that, how is it going to affect these countries' sovereignty? How is it going to affect these countries' economy? That all is under many question marks. But as far as this thing is concerned, whether it will give impetus to the employment, yes, of course. It is giving impetus to the employment. It is saving many countries' economy to be totally drowned. And the new projects with which China have come up and joined hands with other countries have given them an opportunity uh, to modernize their technology and to create jobs in their countries and etc. But at the same time, China has also been alleged with that when it is giving money to the respective countries, when it is funding its own Belt and Road Initiative, when it is constructing railways or roads or developing ports in those countries, then it is coming with its own technology, with its own labor, with its own funding institutions. So most of the time, what at the end, the country gets nothing. And especially two cases I will discuss. But before that, so another thing which I'll speak about is the Chinese initiative of eliminating poverty, eliminating abject poverty. So I'll come to that. In 2014, Beijing announced three regional development plans. One of which was OBOR, this One Belt One Road initiative. These plans are supposed to address the chronic problem of uneven development in China. This, as I told you, that $1 trillion project, this OBOR or BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, this will include 900 projects and 68 countries. And in this also, as I mentioned, that CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is one, but another two major corridors also are there, which are basically train routes. So China, Laos, Thailand, that is another one. And the third one is China, Jakarta, Bandung. So this will, this $263 billion demand for high-speed trains. There is a almost 50% of 50% manufacturing of high-speed trains in the world is concentrated in China itself. So China is also creating market for its home-produced high-speed trains in other countries by supplying them, and this is being done on the basis of the loans. So that is also again a problematic thing, because if these poor countries, most of them are poor countries, two-thirds of these OBOR countries, like 68 countries, have said yes to this. So two-thirds of such countries have very poor economy, so they can't actually sustain the kind of loan. So it is also called a debt trap by China. And another term which I also saw, that global colonization. So by becoming globalized, you are also colonizing through the economic coercion and other things. So these kind of critical appraisal of the Chinese initiatives are also there. It's mainly advertised as economic program of China, but yes, it is not only geo-economic program. It has got its geo-strategic and geopolitical aspects as well. Because as you know, like recently we are seeing the tension between Ukraine and Russia is mounting. Similarly, the Belt and Road Initiative program, under that program, China invested heavily with Afghanistan. And in 2000, last year, when this Afghanistan regime, this Ghani, Ashraf Ghani regime lost and Taliban took over. So there is a break in the Belt and Road Initiative programs going on, and there has to be a new understanding again. So such a big program, such a huge program has its own problems and consequences, because it cannot be taken for granted that everything will go smoothly in these countries which are going to be the part of the initiative. And today's government will carry on the same kind of treaties, and they will abide by the same treaties which are done with the China by the previous government. So these are the problems which China has to face, and in that scenario, uh, some problems within the countries have also appeared, and they have also put a challenge to the success of Belt and Road Initiative program. One such example is India itself. Because of this China and Pakistan economic corridor, India has not agreed to sign its uh, not agreed to sign on this OBOR project. And in especially in area where this Balochistan, this Gwadar seaport is taking shape, there also, this is an area where terrorism is influential in that part of Pakistan, and it also connects the Kashgar of area of Xinjiang of China. It connects, this corridor connects these two extremist kind of sections. So in such situation, Pakistan has promised that we will deploy 12,000 soldiers to protect this corridor. So similarly, there are military tensions between countries, and there are threats of terrorism, and to protect all these things, that is somehow becoming that makes it more difficult to make the trade smooth, because trade is generally seen at its best when there is a peaceful environment. So that is one part, and I would like to just mention that which country has got what. So I mentioned about Afghanistan. Afghanistan, they have already given, the China has already given some $245 million to begin the projects within Afghanistan, which is gas pipelines and other things. And yes, train network. They'll also lay down a train network, and also they are going to build 10,000 apartment houses, for which will worth $300 million. And along with that, they have also given 500 scholarships to Afghan students to be able to study in China, and they will train 300 students of Afghanistan to, they'll train in various skills like counter-terrorism and agriculture and things like that, so that locally they can be, at their stage, they can be prosperous. So that is Afghanistan scene, which as I told you, that has to be reworked with Taliban government. In Laos, they are laying down 1,035 kilometers railway line, which is a very big project, and almost half of the, it will cost around half of the total GDP of the Laos. In Nepal, they have already signed 35 projects, in which almost 1,500 kilometers railway line they are going to lay down, and road, railway, energy, tourism, irrigation, many such projects are there. In Bangladesh, again, they are committing some $24 billion investment and in hydroelectric power and tourism and energy and etc. In Indonesia, they again are laying down a railway line and building up two dams two power projects. One is hydropower project and another one is coal power project. That is $25 billion and $12 billion respectively. In Malaysia, they are investing $32 billion. In Pakistan, they have already invested around $60 billion in this Gwadar port. In Myanmar, they have got plans to develop dam and port, and this Myanmar port will give China direct access to Europe, Africa, and Asian countries also. So more or less, this is the general impact on South Asian countries. And just now, yes, I'm focusing on Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka is in much news as far as this OBOR is concerned. Sri Lanka was not able to repay its loan, so in 2017, the Chinese company took over its one of the very important port called Hambantota, and took it for 99 years of lease. So in that particular aspect, it is a fear in all the partner companies, partner countries of this OBOR project, that if we fail to repay the loan, our sovereignty, our economic, in many ways, we are in danger. Our country, our people will be in danger. And they also say that, as I told you, that China comes with its own people, with its own technology, with its, and when there are people of China, they are protected by Chinese army as well. So they have put at some places their own army to protect this. So these are the questions which are really important questions, as far as, because this alone will not be sufficient uh, to justify this project, that it is going to modernize or technologically advance the scenario. It is certainly joining China with the rest of the world. So the main beneficiary of this entire project will be China. As far as other countries which are collaborating with them are concerned, it has to be seen whether they get their due share in the development and the benefits which this OBORA project will generate. So similarly, there are questions regarding this in ecological sense also. In 2013 itself, I think in 2013, yes. So a special clause was added to this document of OBOR, saying that this Belt and Road Initiative will not just be the Belt and Road Initiative, this will also be a green Belt and Road Initiative. So we will take care of the ecology, we will take care of the, and as Xi Jinping put it, that we will make a civilization which is ecological. So a sustainable environmental kind of environment which is needed. As far as words are concerned, that is fine, but we also see that in Indonesia, the project of laying a railway line, they are endangering 800 orangutans. That place where from this railway line will cross will actually endanger the habitat of 800 orangutans. And it will also, obviously, that it will also affect when we visualize the railway line in the mountainous areas of Nepal or Indonesia or Myanmar or places like that. Thousands of acres, millions of acres of forest, and forest, I mean, not just forest. A forest is not just wood. It's an entire ecology which will be affected. Similarly, we have seen the fate of the big dam projects, hydropower projects in India itself. And if such things happen in other small countries where they are in dire need of the money and they are overlooking the environmental impacts of these projects, And in the haste of getting the money, in the haste of getting employment to the people, in the haste of getting associated with this Belt and Road project, they are overlooking, ignoring the possible threats, environmental threats also. So all these things require a calm and patient and people-centric, people-oriented kind of a development plan, which to my understanding so far, China has not given much heed to. When I visited China as a part of the delegation to see their poverty alleviation programs impact, that was a guided tour, of course, so there was not much to see beyond what they were showing. But at the same time, I was able to see thousands of acres of forest was uh, earlier planted with the eucalyptus trees, and then when it was found that they were not good for the soil or the the groundwater, they have been uprooted, and they were so so what I doubt is that whether China is really that concerned about the ecological things. And that is very important because the ecology of this entire Himalayan region is very important, and it can do, if we make some mistakes in the name of the development or in the speedy development, if we make such mistakes, then it may cause the coming generations also to suffer. So that was one aspect of this. And another one, last point which I want to just touch and leave them here, and we can discuss it in the question answer session. The greatest leap forward in the history of mankind, in the history of 1,000 years of China existence, that it has brought, just in 8 years of period, it has brought 10 crore, 100 million people out of the abject poverty. And that has been done with the lot of criticism have come. People are saying anti-China propaganda is also there, and they say that it is all done by reducing the poverty measures. It is all fake news. Their claims have no basis, etc., etc. But yes, of course, United Nations and its other organizations, they have seen the ground, and yes, of course, there could be loopholes, but they have brought out millions of people out of the poverty. That is a very unique kind of a story in the history of mankind, and that has been done with sheer planning and willpower, a political will of making people out of the poverty. As far as this is concerned, with the earlier section of things which I was talking, is that once you bring out people of the poverty by providing them subsidized income, by providing them employment, etc., you can't hold them out of the poverty unless you give them a sustainable kind of an employment. And this is where I think that the two are connected with each other, because what China is doing with One Belt, One Road initiative is also trying to create the uh, employment job opportunities for Chinese outside China. So this has been done in various ways, which has been got a lot of criticism, because people who were living in difficult terrains in China, they were shifted, displaced from their original habitat, and they were shifted to apartments, and they were shifted to urban areas. And uh, first of all, they were not ready, perhaps, but as I told you, that it's a political will behind it. So, so the party committees and they all local committees, they took people into the confidence, and they made they showed them, they showcased them that what actually our life can be if we accept this kind of a displacement. Because after getting displaced from one place, they are better placed to the another place. So there are many such examples, which I'm not going into the details, but yes, a working population of almost 25 million. Uh, with the advent of the artificial intelligence and all that, what will they do if they come out of the agriculture, the rural areas? They are now removed from the rural areas, and they are displaced into the, so the manufacturing side of China, industrialization, etc. It has given opportunities, but it is not sufficient to accommodate all the working people there. So so China is trying to get people out, to get people job outside the China in this One Belt and One Road initiative. And I think that is also one thing which is fearing the other countries, because if China takes the jobs for its own people in, while constructing some infrastructure project in other countries, what will happen to their own people who are unemployed? So I'll stop here. I mean, I'll get back to the question and answer session if there is any. But as far as this thing is concerned, it has very influential role in deciding the future of the South Asia. Thanks a lot.